on a Monday. I don't know what it is. I always like it's like a rite of passage at this point. I feel like it's just we always gotta get the we're up and running, but we got we're cooking now. So welcome to our living room sports talk here. Macaulay, Zach Rothenberger, the great Chad Catcherbone, kicking off with chilly, snowy in the north. I feel like I'm tired of saying this. I feel like every show I'm like snowy one here, guys. But another cold one. February, yeah, cold one. But yeah, all right, we're back off another weekend. There's I felt like, and obviously I'm going to dive into this when we tease the show, but today felt like a smorgasbord of like topics to talk about in the show. But it's gonna be a fun one today.
Yeah, I feel like a lot kind of happened throughout the day today, and over the weekend, so it should be fun. Good start to the week.
Yeah, you saw the Genesis Invitation. We had some fun with that.
Oh, it was good. It was really good. I actually have I'll throw a little betting story into that too. By the way, it's pretty good. Good stuff.
Oh, okay. So you want to save that for the end, or you want to do it now? I don't care.
I'll save it for the end.
Okay. I like that. So all right, I like that. You're doing Tony La Russa style, having that guy in the back of the lineup, to bring it around. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, outside. So let's. So we got a good show there for everyone. So, it's funny. We'll talk about the Lake Tahoe games. We're gonna have some fun with that one. I think. For the NHL, we'll talk a little about some hockey action. Then March Madness is 3 weeks away, kind of. Selection Sunday was 3 weeks from yesterday, so that's exciting. Chad, and we got some March Madness guests coming up, so that's going to be exciting too. You got the basketball jersey in the background, you're ready. And then I'm pissed that Sonny's fight got canceled. Like, damn it.
It's such a buzzkill.
Wasn't it? It was the first time I was about to start caring about sports again since the NFC Championship game. There you go. It's almost like go ahead.
It felt like a piece of us was a part of that because we had him on the show, and it was like you're pulling for him even harder. But next time, I guess.
Yeah, it was like just an empty feeling. But we'll dive into that and talk.
But without Sonny, there was a couple big knockouts this weekend.
I know. I'm actually pissed I don't have the knockout from the main event. That was wild.
That was insane. Yeah.
But we also got the chat that always never disappoints with their awesome comments, so we'll have them cooking as well, and then we'll obviously talk a little bit about some NFL. There's like some very bizarre headlines. I feel like in the football world, even like baseball. There's some Chad the Mariners thing. I didn't even put that in my notes I sent over to you guys, but like we'll get to that. Like
bizarre.
Like everyone in corporate America, I think, feels underappreciated in some degree about their job, but like God help us. Hearing those comments were quite degrading. All right, so we'll get to all that, but also you guys want to just do it as we always do with a little clickbait to get started?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right, who wants to go first? You want to flip a coin?
I'll let Chad go.
I like it.
Yeah. All right, so keep in mind it's pretty on brand for me. It's another Eagles story. It's just a video of Jalen Hurts making I don't know, Kieran, would you say any of those balls traveled more than 15 yards down the field? Like it was some throws. He's making some throws.
Red zone throws.
Yeah.
Red zone throws.
Using his core, wasn't really using, his whole body for most of them, so he just showing his arm strength and that kind of a thing. But still, it's not like he was throwing 70 yards down the field. He was literally throwing the ball like maybe 15 yards at a time.
Sorry, I apologize. I hate when this happens in the stream where like I load the photos up and every once in a while if I don't do it the scenic route, they don't load properly. But it's 50-50. I always take the gamble. Of course, I kept checking. I was like, no, we're good this time. And of course, the minute I pulled up your clickbait, it was your one from Thursday. But I fixed it now, so get ready. We're gonna do some like live on the fly producing, folks. So sorry, not to cut you off there, Chad. Take it away.
No, you're good. So it was just Jalen Hurts making some passes, and the caption of the tweet was "Every day is a work day" with at Jalen Hurts, which for many other fan bases, you're like, what the hell are you complaining about? Like your quarterback's out there working in the off season. And it's not really a complaint, more so it's just me saying that like I've seen this way too many times. Ben Simmons, for example, hits about 9,000 threes in every offseason, and I see every single one of them on Twitter. And then he doesn't come back and shoot threes in the game. So it's any of this stuff in the offseason, like they're all working. They're professional athletes. They all know that they have weaknesses that they have to improve. So it really shouldn't come to a surprise that they're working on their game. So I think stuff like that is more just to show and not exactly that we need to look into. Oh, it's so great that he's out there doing something, because we should honestly expect that.
Well, you're right. You never buy those videos, but it's funny. If this actually was like a perfect segue, because I pulled up the headline that CSN or NBC Philly posted, and I'll pull up. Let me pull up my thing real quick here. I guarantee this is not going to load properly. Of course, it doesn't load properly. Here you go. I'm ready for it. Watch this. It's almost like a record. I'm going to try to fix this as quick as possible. Here you go. All right. So your headline was about how Jalen Hurts looked good with the eye emoji. Well, in the same breath, new mock draft, Eagles are taking a quarterback, Chad. But you got to click on it because obviously there's 3 quarterbacks in the picture, which I didn't do because I don't care. Not that I don't care about the Eagles or not care about talking about the Eagles, but more so I just don't care what they say about the Eagles. So to that point, I feel bad because I don't even know. I've never been, Zach, you'll appreciate this. I've never been more humbled and get confused going through the mock draft process and looking at it from this perspective of that. I said there's no way Aaron Rodgers and Jordan, like the whole Jordan Love thing, because I saw there was a mock draft status. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. But then you look back on it, and it's just like how am I supposed to not think that you guys might take Justin Fields?
I think I went over this in the last show. It's like if I have to go through another season of every time the starting quarterback makes an errant throw, the whole fan base saying that the backup should be in, like I think I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I do not know what's going to happen.
Well, it's perfect because the chat's getting involved with it too. So it just I'm pulling your feet to the fire here. Like, do you think they believe Hurts is the guy, or do you think they would draft a quarterback?
By that, it's just Howie. Apparently, that he's the only one that makes these calls, and I think it's another quarterback. I don't know if it's going to come from the draft or free agency, but he said he wants another guy to compete with him. So I don't think that they think Hurts is the guy.
Jesus, you mean I'm all on board no matter what the team is. If you have like a veteran backup to kind of mentor and like push him a little bit, but not like an actual like your job's on the line. You know?
Well, yeah, it was funny today. Today it came out that the Eagles never viewed him as in Hurts as potential option as the number one quarterback. They just wanted to have really good backup. Like that's what they saw in him. But this is just another classic example of Howie making no sense. Like if that's what you want out of your backup quarterback, second round, like that's a second round pick. Like you people in the second round you take that are going to do some very good for you for your team, not someone that's just going to be a backup and is supposed to be a backup his entire career on the team. So I don't really understand any of his logic, to be honest.
Yeah, and if they feel that way, why would they trade away Wentz and give up all that money? You know, I understand the reasons behind it, but still, it's just
And the other thing is, you guys have so many other needs, right? I mean,
no, definitely, basically every position.
Well, and it's funny. This is a guy that I feel like would be an intriguing person to bring in. It will never, ever, 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 ever happen. But someone like Mitch Trubisky, like, why not bring him in? He's trying to it's like the Ryan Tannehill effect, right? Where it's like it's one last time, bring him into another place, like maybe resurrects his career somewhere else. Because it was a horrible situation the first time around, which is, I guess, what the culture trying to do with Wentz in a sense. Although that's cheap because I think he's a better quarterback than Mitch Trubisky. But they're like, he'll never sign there. He'll go to somewhere like Denver and then try to beat Drew Lock out. But and then it's like, do you want like Fitzmagic? Like that might be a shot in the arm. I know everyone's been kind of like hitting around at that for fun for a little clickbait chatter, but it's a kind of a fun piece of gum to chew on. I know it's not a meal, but it's kind of fun to chew on it.
I do. I don't know why I think this way, but I would rather just have somebody that has no shot at playing the quarterback position be the backup for this particular year. Like I don't see us as a Super Bowl contender, really even a playoff team. So why are we putting so much stock in the backup quarterback again? Like that is something you should do when you're a playoff contender, trying to make a run for a Super Bowl. Like I don't understand what the need would be for it this year. So, and
if you saw Joe's comment chat in the chat, he's saying, but to that point, how is the fan base not storming the building? Think about it, if you trade a Wentz, then you basically just waste the second round pick, and you can't give up. So you basically, I think what we're trying to get at is he's not a first round pick, but essentially it's the same leash at this point. Like you don't give up on that after a first year. And that the fans, I mean, could you imagine? Like, because that's the thing. I know. Here's the thing. You know that they draft a quarterback, they're going to sell it on a competition. Zach, they're both young quarterbacks. We're going to see who the best man wins. They're both going to grow together and make each other better. Like that's exactly how they'll try to sell it. But I hate everything about it.
You're exactly right, and that's the kind of what we're dealing with in the Eagles fan base right now is we have a horrible distrust for our general manager. So really, even some of the stuff that he's done in the past that has made a ton of sense is now starting to look bad just based off of his terrible decision making in the draft.
Well, to that point, Zach, your GM's made some interesting draft moves. David Gettleman is a Giants fan. You are. I guess there's a little clickbait for some Giants offseason, eh?
Yeah. So the site that this article was from, Giants Wire. You know, I follow them just because out of Giants fanhood, but like the articles they post are just extreme BS more often than not. But it's just for a good laugh. I mean, they posted one, I believe it was today or yesterday. Ozzy's been in on the action here. Should the Giants consider signing nemesis Deshaun Jackson?
Cleaning up this photo, by the way, too. Gotta let it out. There you go. See, look at that. There we go. Sorry.
I mean, is Deshaun Jackson a talented player? Yeah, absolutely. But he's also right. And I was saying he's at the tail end of his career. You know, he only played in 5 games this past season. Chad, is that right? Or
was it that many?
Yeah, dude. I don't think so. Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Touchdown in Dallas really kind of brought him back to life, even though it wasn't real. It was like Frosty's Snowman a little bit.
Well, it actually did the opposite. It killed him again. He did a flip into the end zone and then didn't play the rest of the game.
Oh my God, that was it. It's so fitting in a sense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Right a little bit like in Dallas. Let me kind of But
yeah,
we're cutting you off on your own clickbait.
No, you're good.
He's a Giants fan though.
No, oh God, no. There's too much bad blood as a Giants fan with Deshaun Jackson, and just like with this could be like a show versus street in reality, but just from like even a football perspective. Yeah, even just from like a football perspective, like I just feel like there's a lot of just bad blood with that fan base and him, and just in general because of because he's a good player. That's what happens when you're a good player for a rival. That's what happens, and I think some off the field antics with him just wouldn't be good. So this is straight clickbait. Long story short,
he's gonna look good in a Jacksonville uniform.
There you go.
Yeah. He's not. No, he's not. He's going to go. He might find his way back to
Chargers
Tampa.
or something.
No, he wants to go win he wants a ring. He came out and said that. So he wants to take the LaShawn McCoy route. He says.
Yeah, I also oh, did we lose you, Zach? Zach dropped off in the video. Look at this.
I think his dog
there
is.
Is.
Yeah, I had to let the dog out of my room. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Ozzy.
Yeah, Ozzy.
Oh, we didn't see him.
Yeah,
dude, don't shame that. That's the audience needs that. Are you kidding me? We need that content on the show. Like they don't want to hear me talk; they want to see the dog. Like
he was just pacing around. He's probably had to go outside, so we don't need any accidents in the bedroom.
No. That would not be the show we want to see. All right, to that point, let's kick off the show a little bit more. So that was a nice long clickbait there for a second.
It was good clickbait.
It was. All right, so I'll tell you, do you guys want to talk? I feel like we don't really ever kick off the show with hockey. Let's get into a little puck talk, eh? So I'm even trying to do a little hey, we're talking hockey, eh? All right. So the Lake Tahoe. Taco, yeah. Lake Tahoe. My accent, goodness. It was beautiful. It really was. I mean, the whole thing was scenic. It's fine. I see the look in your eye, Chad. The audience doesn't because I have the graphic pulled up. But I'm almost, what? Let's have some fun. I'm just going to kind of throw it out there. It's like just, look, you can see the lake. People are fishing on the lake. I'm almost going to throw my rod out in the conversation here and say to you guys, what did you think? Was it great for hockey? Was it not? What was your whole thought process on it?
So I think the venue was incredible. I think Lake Tahoe is a can't miss. Just from a perspective of the scenes that we had seen these players playing, which kind of made it seem like playing with no fans was almost normal. Like if you see it in these stadiums, like they've built it up to where it's kind of cool looking, but you're still like, well, there's no fans there. This kind of sucks. But outside the maybe 20 people on some boats watching, like there was no fans at this game or games, I should say, both of them. But
yeah, there was one on Saturday. Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Exactly.
Or we can get to it now.
The main point here is like there was no fans there, but it almost seemed normal and really cool. But I don't think this was great for hockey, because I think hockey once again messed up, and I think this is why hockey continues to be the fourth sport out of the four main ones, is because they messed up their big events like this. And I don't understand how you can have like a full year's worth of planning, or however many years this was in the making, and get up there and have the issues that the NFL has. Like, they continuously have this issue with the sun glaring into players' eyes, and they continuously keep playing these games in the middle of the day. So the first game on Saturday is either a noon or a 1 o'clock puck drop.
It was 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific time, though.
Okay.
I mean, for perspective with the sun.
Right. So that's when the game started, and then they had, in the middle of the first period, the ice just completely was being shredded up, and it was actually brought down to the very lowest layer of ice. So they had to pause the game and redo the ice and then restart the game, and that didn't start again until 12 o'clock Eastern time. So we had a midnight start of the second period.
Midnight dipper, as they say.
Yeah, in this first game. Followed by the Flyers the next day, which they pushed to 7:30 Eastern time, so 4:30, Pacific out there, but that didn't actually start until, I want to say, like 7:50.
And I was going to say, let me just jump in real quick because the chat was chiming in with what you were saying. So to that point, I mean, because right, like it does suck. Like it was scenic in the light, like with the light and the whole get up, and obviously the pictures, we just pulled off. But like it was awkward, like how they had to delay it, and then go and changing the time of the Flyers game, and then the choppy ice. They had to play on that. And I saw Ian saying in the chat that you can't control the weather. Now I will say this though, I think to your point, Chad, it's like you can't have that at high noon. It's like beaming down on that ice, especially out there in the mountains when there's there's buildings or like a lot of trees like block it. You're literally like the reflect, like all of it. It's like it's like a laser.
But here's my thing with the NHL is like, you can use that excuse if it's your first time doing it. You're like, we can't control the weather. This is like their 11th year doing these games. Like, how are we still not understanding that the light affects the ice, and as well as it affects the players who can't see on that ice the way that they need to see to play professional hockey? Like, this is not just an outdoor game where these guys are monitoring, checking each other. Like, they're playing an NHL game, that's why it's in the standings. Like, so this needs to be perfect, and it is never perfect.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think planning, unfortunately, and Kieran, you brought it up, at least like if they play in a stadium outside, like the stadium can block the sunlight, depending on the time of day, obviously, so that's not really a factor. But in this case, you're basically just playing out in the open. So, no, I agree. They should have planned it a little bit better to make it so that way it was later in the day where the sun's basically down. But I think scenically, I think it was beautiful for sure. I think, I don't know if you could have asked for a much better venue because of that, but yeah, the sunlight wasn't ideal by any means.
Well, and here's the other thing. I'm
the
sorry.
Safety issue too.
I feel like I'm always a negative person on the show, but the one thing that kind of I don't like about these games, and I said this to like all my friends, like ready rock and roll. It was like, no, it counts exactly the same thing as the game that I'm driving like home from work or whatever. That's like, a 1 o'clock special or whatever, like on a Friday or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like that's not even real. Like they're playing the Devils at 7:30 on a Tuesday in February. Like it's the same thing. Like it's 2 points. That's it. If you go to overtime, it's 1 point. But you watch this game, it feels like a playoff game. And they make you want to feel like it's a playoff game with like the whole NBC and the production. Obviously, it's a great job with what they do. I'm not picking bones at them. But it's at that point, it gets my emotional strings start getting plucked, and I'm just like starting yelling at the TV more, getting upset about it. And it's just like it it's no different than going up to Boston and losing if you're a Flyers fan. Which, by the way, God help us, the Flyers got their pants pulled down in Tahoe, Chad.
Yeah, no, they did certainly, but
I mean, shorthand.
it was what, a 4-minute stretch of just terrible hockey that did them in. So like the first period was back and forth. It was great action, and then to start the second period, some more great action, and then our JV squad just couldn't pull it together for a 4-minute span, and we gave up 4 goals. You don't usually see things like that, and it was horrible to watch. But
that was worse than seeing the ice melt during the game before.
Yeah.
And to that point, actually, let me get back to the chat here for a second because they had some good points too. And they were saying the same thing, like how do you if you're the NHL, like you sign, and Zach, we were talking about like you sign up to have the game on a golf course, like you have this all planned out, the hell get up because you have to, like just from like a whole schematic standpoint. How are you not thinking, hey, sun's beating down? Like, why don't we like try building a rink? Like, maybe like I guess it's I know it's a lot. Like, there's a lot more. If I was like on this, like the staff putting that whole thing together, there's probably saying this idiot has no idea like what goes into this. But I can't help but think it's like, how do you let like that happen? Exactly. It's like, oh wow, the ice melted. How about that with the sun beating on? Like, doesn't it like? Kids, I feel like that's the first thing you learn, like in middle school science. Like it's like, hey, like let's put a magnifying glass over a piece of ice and like watch it melt. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just like so. And I'll add this in, not to just rant and make it all about me saying this and that, but like the best part. Well, I would not say the best part. I would say the best quote I heard that kind of put in perspective was what Sean Couturier said. He loved the experience. He thought it was great, but he said there were spots where you couldn't see the puck. Things were blinding. He said it was dangerous. It's like driving and just for like a split second, your blind spot's blinded by like the sun. We're like, oh my god, like it's the same thing.
But yeah, and that's kind of the point I'm trying to make is like when these big events happen, they have to be done exactly the right way, or these athletes are not going to be happy, and in turn, their agents are going to be happy. I really don't understand how the NHL agents never get into it. Like the NFL, when they have that game in Mexico, or were supposed to have that game in Mexico City, and the field was just in terrible condition, and all the agents came together like, our guys aren't playing on this field. I don't know what you expect, your NFL. And they moved the game. Like, it's like, so these things have to be done. These are professional athletes getting paid millions of dollars. Like, it's not like I'm just getting mad that the school board messed up, like, the Saturday Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl game. Like, this is an NHL game with millionaires on the ice.
Well, and it's funny because I think this is getting lost. I'm just going to make a Flyers comment to get back to that game for a second. Joe had a great point. That, like Carter Hart, Jesus Christ. Do
you see my tweet today?
No, I actually didn't.
I saw. I thought it was a good one.
Yeah, well, so people are always complaining that the Philly media doesn't care about the Flyers. And, like, it was days like yesterday and then today that I am thankful that the Philly media doesn't care about the Flyers, because Carter Hart would be run out of the city as fast as Carson Wentz was. Like, it is that quick that these guys turn on you, and every story gets bad, and then the whole fan base hates you.
And here's a fair point too that Ian was saying in the chat. Like, would we be this passionate or like upset at the Flyers if the scores flipped? They just win a game 7-3. Like, are we saying these things? Like,
yeah, because I was thinking it the first day when they had to start this game back up at midnight. Like, that was mistake number one.
Well, and I'm thinking, like, so for the Flyers, like, well, first of all, I'm looking at the chat too about the fact that they're so shorthanded. That kills. All right, we can also, I can't make this a Flyers show just me being a Flyers fan, but I have no faith in that team. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, I could wander a bunch of different ways about this whole thing, but like that's where I'm at. Carter Hart can't see the puck. Their defense sucks. Their offense doesn't do anything. Granted, they are short-handed, but even when Claude Giroux and Jake Voracek come back, what, are they real consistent? Like, no. So I have very little faith. Now, at the same point, I was saying, me and Joe were talking about this last night. We were texting when we were watching the game, and it was like, what sucks about this team is they're a moment away from being a great team, but they're also a moment away from showing you that they're maybe just pig with lipstick on. And it's like, and then it's moments like yesterday where you're just like, that's what they are. I think that's what they are. Like, So that to me is what I don't know. Like, and Zach, I mean, you're a Sabres fan. Like they're kind of kind of a little Rocky Road ice cream too.
We're probably a little bit more rocky road, and it's funny. Whenever the Sabres win a game, I'm like thinking, oh man, this is great. Like they're playing well. So I don't know. The Flyers, I mean, they're third in the division. They're only a couple points out of second. So I wouldn't jump ship yet. I mean, I don't really watch the Flyers as much, obviously, as I would the Sabres. But no, I mean, I think it's just one of those games.
I've never heard that sentence before, by the way. I don't watch the Flyers as much as the Sabres. That's
I know. Hey, it's a first.
Well, that's I've never been to Buffalo, so that's
Well, yeah, there you go. I mean, it's a tough loss because, like you said earlier, this game gets built up as if it's like a mid-season playoff game or like a Monday Night Football, type of big game, and then you go out there and you lay an egg the way you did. It's definitely upsetting, but I don't know. And one point about the NHL is I know like with all the COVID restrictions and stuff, but it would have been nice if they would have like tested this out ahead of time at least to get like a little dry run.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like because obviously I don't know the logistics. How do you not do that?
I'm sure
that's my point.
Yeah, I'm sure it was probably like some type of COVID restriction-based reason behind it. But
and if to that point, if we're all saying the same thing, it's like, what can the NHL maybe say something? Like, why is that? Like, just give us an answer. That's all I want to know. Why?
Yeah, like put a statement out there that just says, hey, this is with the ice conditions. We are working with limited staff or whatever. Just something so that way people are aware instead of people bashing it. We are. But yeah.
Now, it's funny. I feel like I'm getting a little rallied up because I'm thinking about the next segment already. You guys watch like Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm, like you kind of in those circuits at all?
Yeah.
Curb, yeah.
So, this is one of the weirdest things I think I've ever. Well, not whatever. I'm like hyping it up now, like it was some giant dramatic event, but it was just a normal weird pizza exchange with a pizza guy. So Friday night, we ordered some pizza. Me and Joe P. And his girlfriend Kara came over. So the pizza comes. So Joe was showering, so I went to go get it. And so he handed me the money through the door, because he was paying, which was nice because it's like a little Lent thing. We're Catholic boys. We're doing pizza every Friday, so we're back and forth with that. So anyway, so he was very generous. It came out to $25, and he was like, he didn't need change, so he gave me 2 20s. So I feel like I reversed all that. He gave me 2 20s and didn't need change. There we go. See, I'm a horrible storyteller. But anyway, the show must go on. So I go out now. I'm going to give this in like national terms because like I could be like, it was in Paoli and we're in Malvern and that's not that far. But like and I'll just give this little caveat, Zach, it's like a little bit further than Brick and Bro. Like where we're talking. Okay. Yeah. Like so Chad, you know that. It's not that far. Delivery guy comes up. Now mind you, Joe called the place. Like it wasn't like we did an online order or anything. Called the place up, said the address, the whole thing, okay, I'll be this amount, right? I'll be ready at this time. The guy comes up as I'm literally handing him the money. Now, granted, I did have the 2 20s like folded up, so you couldn't see like what I was handing him. But as I'm about to hand him the money, he goes, "By the way, like this is actually really far. So like, if you guys are ever going to order from us again, can you just like pick up so we don't have to deliver out here?" As he's saying that, I'm handing the money, and I'm just kind of like, little repulsed. Now, I got to add in here this pizza. We never had it before. It was the best pizza I think I've had in Pennsylvania. Is that good? I know. We'll talk about that offline because at that point I'm not going to say where they are because I don't want to rip them and give them bad service. So, but to that point, I was so in awe. I was just like, dude, if you just like opened your fist up and the 20s opened and you just realized you got a $15 tip on a $25 check and you really didn't drive that far, it was like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I know. I complain about everything. So like I'm not going to go on some rant about how I thought this was ridiculous. But like I thought to myself, like, I bet you when you open that up, like maybe you like would have thought twice about like opening your mouth, like just like don't get in your own way, like just don't talk, like maybe just like it wasn't that bad of a drive, just like don't say anything. Okay, so anyway, that's my little rant about the pizza guy. But to that point, it made me think, what about teams? I feel like there's so many teams that like can't get out of their own way with like their transactions they maybe make in the off season, maybe it's a move they make in the like before a trade deadline or whatever. But like it always like sets them back like so many steps. You're just like, God, help us. Like, I don't know if it's hard to run a team, but these guys make it look like it's the hardest thing ever if it is. Like, there's certain teams out there, and Zach, I know you did an awesome job. You always do an awesome job with our social media stuff. And I know you had some good answers from, like, some people on our social media circuits. But do you want to kick it off with them or you want to kick it off with you guys? I'll defer to you guys on this. But I think it was a little fun. Like, there's so many different ways to spin this. I think.
Yeah, I like the segment. It's really creative and it gets the juices flowing. You know,
Therapy after the pizza guy's a jackass. You know.
Yeah, we could go down that rat hole for the rest of the show if we wanted to. Because
we won't.
Yeah. So a team that has really never, just always got in their own way for me, and I'll start with me first, and then we'll dive into social media later. But the Houston Texans. I mean, when they first, came out in 2002, like obviously everyone was excited. Oh, look, they got this really cool logo. It's like really like unique and flashy, and they got David Carr, Fresno State, like all this hype, and it's just like, all right. And then I remember watching the first game of the season. I think it was the Texans and Cowboys, I believe, that year when Emmitt Smith was still playing, and I was watching the game, and it's just like, all right, well, this is a letdown. But that was just the start of what's to come, obviously. And then you go through all like the good regular seasons and the playoffs. They just stumble every year, it seems like. And in recent memory, obviously, the whole Bill O'Brien saga and just basically trading away all your players, and then you leave Deshaun Watson there by himself, and then leads us to today, how there's just something going on within that team ever since its inception, in my opinion, where they just seem they never get the job done, and then they just crumble apart internally, and it's just not good.
Yeah. Like, I always like challenge you guys to be like, if you're a Texans fan, what's the happiest moment they've ever had?
I would love to know that. Was it drafting Deshaun Watson? Because that's probably what it was.
Like, was it?
JJ
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Was it Andre Johnson beating the hell out of Cortland Finnegan? Like,
yeah, or drafting.
That was a kind of fun time though. Matt Schaub and Andre Johnson. That was fun. With like Brian Cushing as like the linebacker and stuff. Like little JJ Watt when he was young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean they did Hard Knocks too, right? Which was really cool. With like Cushing all mic'd up and all that good stuff. But
they are a mess. Yeah,
it's just like they just seem like they're a team that's never gonna get over that hump. It just really seems that way, and I hate to say it, but it just does. It's not a good outlook.
Now, Chad, it's funny because I don't think you sent us one in the chat today. What this little wild card action here? Wild card Chad on a Monday.
Well, this is just going to be based off of my lifetime, but it also extends like 20 more years beyond that. So it's a good amount of time for this one, even though it's not a full franchise worth of it. But mine, it's New York Metropolitans.
It's actually a really good one. My mom is going to disown me. I love her to death. She will disown me for saying this, but you are so right with this.
I mean,
the more I learn about that franchise,
exactly. It's like so. I mean, the 2007 collapse is one of the best. They were.
My dad's smiling right now. If he's listening, oh my god.
The Phillies were, I think it was 7 down with 12 to go, and ended up winning the division, and that's what propelled them to the 2008 run the next year. And I mean, even after that, like they had the World Series run a couple years back, and just looked horrible in that World Series. But it was funny about that World Series was they were leading for, I want to say all but like
into the 7th inning. I think it was.
Yeah, it was like they were leading for all but like 3 innings the entire World Series.
You're so
they lost 4 out of 5.
You're right. It was a show. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. It was that's one of the wildest stats you'll ever see. I almost have to find that out. I was about to say Alexa, but I was like, hey.
Yeah, no, that's too much for her to handle and conquer.
Yeah. No, maybe like 30 years she'll be able to tackle that one.
Yeah. But so I mean, there's that. Like, there's just the Subway Series with the Yankees.
That one, I was rooting for them in that one as a kid.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't.
Great. That's okay. It's all right. I mean, looking back on it,
I wasn't either.
I don't know why.
So. There's just so many examples to choose from, and then even right now, it's like they just got Lindor, but my same feeling with them is like they're still the Mets. Like I don't envision them getting much better. Like last year, they hired a manager and he fired like 4 days later.
I know, with all the things you're right, with like the Mickey Callaway stuff and then their GM, and it's just like, and then Carlos Beltran was supposed to be the manager, right? And then like that fell through. It's just like. It's bad. It's not good.
Oh man, it's
and like great because when Steve Cohen said like, "Oh yeah, like I'm going to spend money," it's like, No one even batted an eye. It's not, like, you know what I mean? It's like if someone like if the White Sox owner was like, we're gonna start spending money, everyone's like, oh man, are the Cubs have like a new neighbor in town? Like no, like it's like everyone's just like that's fun. Like that's fun. All right, moving on. Like it was like actually top point here. Let's moving on. All right. I'm torn. I got a few. So I feel like the Cowboys are a good one.
They were my 1A. They're my 1A.
Yeah, they're you know, and I say that because you think about Alexa, how many playoff games have the Dallas Cowboys won in the last 20 years?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
That's too much. Is it 3? You have it? That's pretty good, Chad. I'm glad you have it already. She didn't know, but yeah. See, I'm pushing her, you know, tonight. But no, all right. So to that point, right? In 20 years, 3 wins. And you talk about America's team, the amount of primetime games they get?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, think about both you guys. Like, when you go through a cold spell, you're just like, after a few years of not winning playoff games, you're just like, why does my life suck? Like, right? Like, I'm the same way, too. It's like, that's not that many wins.
And here's the biggest thing about that is, like, how many years ago was that playoff game against you guys?
Oh, the Dez game?
Yeah.
That was a minute ago.
Well, how many years? Like, what, 6, 7, 8?
I want to say it was in 2015. December 2015, maybe January 2016.
Okay, so yeah, like 5 to 6 years.
Half a decade ago.
And how many times do we still hear Dez caught it? Like that, they're still caught up on that.
I know. They don't even talk about. They skip past the game where we kicked the field goal to beat them. Like they don't even talk about that one. No, I will give them that. I almost in a weird way. This is one little like to not get sidetracked, but. The only thing I will say about that whole thing is I feel like if you get a bye, like that should almost like erase that like type of like a spell. Like, oh, they won a playoff game like X amount of times. All right, well, you get a bye, that counts. Like it's like because you were so good you didn't have to play like that. You already won. Like, yeah, I don't know, that's my little.
No, I was laughing at the comment that said you have New York blood.
Oh yeah, no, I do. It's fun too. That's on my bucket. Well, I mean, the bucket list is going to every MLB. Like rephrase. I'm about to say, oh, my bucket list is going to a Mets game. Well, no, my bucket list is see all the MLB stadiums, so I have to see that one in the midst of that. So yes, it is technically as when you apply the logic, yes, it's on my bucket list to go there. But I mean, but yeah, right. I mean, Zach, what do you think? Dallas, yeah, like they're neighbors with you.
Yeah, no, I think the Dallas is a good one. I mean, that's absolutely a strong one. You know, like you said, the America's team thing. You have all these expectations, and then they just never seem to. They keep butting their heads against.
You guys always play on that Sunday night game. I feel like to open the season, like normally, like
tired of it.
It is a game every year.
Yeah, but so there was 4 other teams we got from social media.
I'm ready to hear it
from everyone. So. We had the Sacramento Kings twice.
Twice. That's what I'm about to say. We got them twice. That's crazy.
That's a great. Wait, do you know who had that? Like, to give a shout out.
Bryson was one, and Hunter.
Bryson.
Hunter Mance.
Hunter. Yeah, Hunter. Yeah.
Aren't they both Kansas City guys?
So Hunter's around here. So he was teammates with me and Joe back in the Shanahan days. Oh, I love Hunter. And I love Bryson back in the KC days. Yeah.
Yeah, they both said Sacramento Kings.
We got to get Bryson back on and do a little. I wanted to do. Remember, I was talking about maybe getting him on after the Super Bowl, but I was like, I can't ask him that. That's really tough. I wouldn't blame him. I feel like if I was me, I'd be like drama in that episode of Entourage when he goes on the View. And it's like, you post like a picture of like your ex-girlfriend who's like doing like the tweeting noises.
Yeah. Let's see. And we had Joe G said the Knicks, which I couldn't agree more.
Did you see the GIF he threw up too?
I didn't watch it. Well, yeah. What was it again? It was
he did the Jarrett Jack heaving a full court GIF.
Oh, that one. Yeah, Jesus.
God, that's top 3 GIF in my opinion.
And then Beltran had the Jets, which was one of the teams I was gonna say at first too. And then I saw his comment. I was like, oh, there you go. So that was like my 1A would be the Jets. When you think about the whole butt fumble and then just everything going on now, the turmoil within the front office.
Well, and even when they were good, like Rex Ryan was just like an idiot with his comments, like all the time.
Yeah, I feel like even when they were good, you just knew that they really weren't and that they weren't anything.
I was about to say there's certain teams like for example, look like, and I'm not trying to bring up bad memories when I say this. It's actually in a weird way, it's a compliment. Like I could bring up like, yo, you remember those Andy Reid Eagles teams that lost the NFC Championship game? And like pretty much everyone that's like a big football fan will be like, yeah, like they were good to Brian Dawkins, Donovan McNabb. Like, right, like there's like some pedigree behind like the loss. Even like when they lost to New England, like right, you can talk about like the teams in that matchup. the Jets losing to the Steelers in that 2010 AFC Championship game. Like no one. If anything, you bring it up as almost like it shocks your mind, man. Like you know what I mean? Like it's like Mark Sanchez. Like they win in New England in the divisional round. No one remembers it. Like think about that. They slayed the dragon in the dragon's cave, and no one cares because that's how irrelevant they were as a whole.
Exactly. Like that's one of Brady's playoff losses, and no idea.
I know.
You're right. Honest to God, if you did Sports Quizzo and was like true or false, Tom Brady's lost to the Jets in the playoffs, I guarantee you more people than not would say false.
Yeah.
Maybe it would tip the scale because you'd have those people be like, I don't really watch football, but I have a weird feeling it's a trick question, so I'm going to go true. Like, and they get it. But, like, you know, for most of the people, like.
Yeah.
Chucking over the Quizzo circuits for me, Zach.
Oh, there you go. And then the last one was someone actually said the Eagles, which I think was in relation to their current state with everything going on, you know, with the front office.
If you didn't have a Super Bowl, who said that one, do you know?
Nina.
Oh, all right, Nina. All right, nice. Well,
Nina.
I was going to say, that one, I feel like if you didn't win the Super Bowl, it's very glaring. Because I actually had the Flyers in my notes. I would say them.
So,
I hate saying that as a Flyers fan, but I feel like they're two pieces that pop the Eagles in the sense that they're trying to win now, trying to make instant moves, instant gratification, right, Chad?
yeah. I mean, the Flyers always are like we're never going to see a championship, but. So I forgot to bring this up earlier, and this is just sparking my mind. I saw a clip from 94.1 today, and it was on Angelo's show, and they were having like some 94.1 awards, and the question was like, who was the best franchise in the 2000s? Like so over the last 20 years between the four, like it was the four Philly ones, and so obviously the answer is the Eagles, like. It was a vote, but it has to be the Eagles, like right. So
2000 and 2010, I would maybe argue the Flyers, but keep going.
Right. Well, no, it was all 20 years.
So it was 2000 today.
Oh, yeah. All right, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, it was 2000 till now.
Yeah.
And immediately when Angelo says Eagles, like you can hear Rhea in the background just go, "Really?" And I'm just sitting there like what is she thinking about? Like, I understand where we are currently in this exact moment in time, but like, there is no argument for any other of the four teams.
No, it's funny. I saw what Ian said in the chat 2 days ago with the Browns.
Yeah.
How did we miss that one? I feel like it's like that was staring right in front of us. Maybe because this past year, like Kevin Stefanski.
They kind of revitalized it a little bit, so maybe. Yeah.
But we're going to talk about it in August. We're going to be like, guys, was that real? It was real, right? It was definitely real. Like, if we're going to say it was real because their running game and their defense, we all will.
and then I'll say no. Well, Odell's back, so the team's done for it now. So I'll say that now instead of then.
Maybe Pat Shermer's going to get fired to be the quarterback's coach for the Browns. Then you know
what? Probably, then they're really screwed.
But I'll tell you. So we'll keep it real quick in the football circuits a little bit here, and it's funny too with the Pizza Boy being a goober. I'll keep it G-rated on that.
Pizza Boy.
Yeah, I know. That's like I know. I actually feel bad like degrading pizza delivery. Mind you, this guy looked like he was like. All right, so I'm going to put it this way. And this is me not like degrade because I first of all, anyone that works, I'll never degrade anyone that actually is working. But if there's anyone that's like. Slick back hair, dressed up, and you look like you're 30, like a CEO, and you're delivering pizza, and you want to have attitude. It's like that's not the place, man. Like it's a common man place. Like just be like, yo, what's up, man? Like like good luck. Like the Flyers, or I have a Flyer shirt on, I'll get my pizza. Like whatever. Like it's not the place to stick the nose up and do the whole get off. All right, I need to let this go. I do. So let me let it go. Let me get on to another hot situation here, just to kind of push it away. Do you guys see the whole Cam Newton thing? Because I'm stuck between saying I don't even want to talk about it. Do you want me to just kick it off?
It's funny that it's probably a nationwide story, and this kid is from our backyard. That's how I want to start this.
That's actually that's perfect. It's pretty sick. Because we're in Southeast. All right, look here. It's almost like Kramer and Seinfeld. Like you can't fight children. So I'm not actually going to say anything about the kid. I'm not even bring up. I didn't even bring up the video, the whole Cam Newton thing. I didn't bring up his thing because kid's getting his 10 seconds of fame right now. It's all right. Look, so to that point, if you didn't hear about this, so Cam Newton was hosting a quarterbacks. Was it a quarterbacks game or just a football camp in general? I guess
it was it wasn't even him hosting. It was a 7-on-7 event. Like you can be on teams that play in these 7-on-7 events.
Yeah, I think
that'll
one
have
college, right? Like in
yeah,
general.
they'll have guests, and Cam Newton was the guest for that event.
Okay, so to that point, so he was at the event, and some kids in high school started vocalizing that they feel like he doesn't really have it anymore. They say he sucks, etc. Right? Okay. So and some back and forth. Cam had some words for him. You can decipher them however you want, but like the back and forth, the dialogue in general. But like whatever. Like that's kind of my whole point. Like I'm not bringing like it doesn't matter. And kind of my thought is, all right, fine. Hey, we're all from Southeast Pennsylvania. I guess we have the luxury of maybe chiming in here. It's like all I saw was that I think Jeff Kurtz tweeted out that the kid plays high school ball at Perkiomen and Valley. And I'm like stop acting like you're playing like in the inner city. Like come on, come on. You're from Perkiomen and Valley. Like you're not the guy who's supposed to be chirping at Cam. Like no one should be doing it. It's just straight disrespectful. Like, but I'm also not going to virtue signal like Twitter is. Like it's so rude. Like, but. This is. I'm actually just going to go full send on my comments real quick on this. So I don't care at all. I think the kid. It's a, if you go to a suburban southeastern Pennsylvania public high school and your child like shut up, sit down, like go away, like. And that's why we're not going to give the kid like 10 seconds of fame, bringing his name up and stuff. But to that point, I will add this with Cam Newton. I don't understand why like the whole media is like I'm almost like doing the whole like standing ovation thing. Like he didn't do anything. He didn't fight back. Like good for him. I am so proud of Cam Newton for not like. It's like, what, they didn't hit a kid?
Yeah,
What you think? Would you expect? Like what? Like you know what I'm saying? I didn't understand why there was like this like giant celebration to the fact that there was like no physical altercation or something. It's just like now. That's funny. The next thing we're going to talk about, kid deserves it, but we'll get to that in a minute. But sorry, I'll let you guys talk for a second because I can't stop talking for about this because it appeased me.
Yeah, what I thought was interesting was the kid's statement that he wrote on Twitter or wherever the heck he did after, where he just said, I'm not disrespectful. The competition got the best of me. And in my head, I'm like, your competition, you saw Cam Newton walk by and you basically just said he was a bum because he's a free agent and he sucks and all this stuff. And it's like, you gotta just accept that you were an idiot and you're disrespectful, plain and simple. Like, there's no competition there to get in the way of you and Cam Newton and being a jerk to him. So, I don't know. I think it's extremely disrespectful, and I honestly
played in a Super Bowl, like
Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, like there's a lot of accolades that goes to that man, and you're basically just really hitting a guy when he's down because, like we have already said, it's a kid, so Cam cannot do anything, and it's just annoying. Like I don't like how these generations are slowly getting like worse and worse with how to react in situations and just how to just go about daily life. Like we all have our grievances and we get off this show. All three of us say things that we wouldn't say on here. That's how life works. Like we for the most part can control ourselves when we have to be controlled because that's how you have to operate in life to be both successful, number one, and number two, it's just like a good human being. So it's not that hard to be a good person.
Yeah, and I'll take back my recruited comments. What I mean is, I hope he learns his lesson. Like he needs to learn the lesson that you just can't do that. And I think, Chad, to your point with this generation, I think everyone feels like they're talking to people on Twitter or through their phone. And then when you say something and you get an actual physical reaction from someone in your face about it, then they don't know how to react. So
yeah,
still get recruited, but just in your life. And Karen froze.
And I think to your point, Zach, I think what you're also getting. I feel like I keep freezing tonight. I hate this. It's like freeze frame. No, but Zach, real quick, to your point, I feel like you're not saying like he'll never get recruited, but it's more like in a competitive world where there's so many kids getting recruited, it's like, okay, we do not need that nonsense. Like next, like right. But to that point, like someone will also probably take a flyer on the kids. So, it ebbs and flows.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. Your face is still frozen. It's kind of funny.
Mine is. I know. I hate this. It's like it looks like I'm at work right now. Is it really? Come on. This is not good. All right.
Normally we don't have sound.
Oh, this is great.
Things are breaking up all over the place.
Oh, still no sound.
I don't know. Can you hear it? Let me try it. Testing real quick.
Yeah, I can hear it on my side.
Yeah, I can hear. I can hear it from your thing.
Yeah,
The walkie-talkie.
I just turned the volume up on my phone. I hear that. Okay. I keep my phone up for the comment
I know.
section.
Of course, we gotta get choppy Joes over here, like sloppy Joes. Like that little play on words there. All right, real quick. Let's get to it. So yeah, our stream's getting beat up harder than the kid from Oklahoma.
You want a filler story? Because I just thought of something wild.
Yeah, please. Yeah, you want to give us a filler story? I'm like right now, like sweating right now, like someone on like stand-up comedy. So please.
I think your Pizza Man story just like threw me back to St. Joe. Well, it was the Pizza Man story combined with you saying Sloppy Joe's, just like threw me right back to St. Joe's, and I can't tell you like how crazy it was in like third grade to walk in and be given those 2 slips for pizza on Friday because like. I don't know if everyone else's mom said this, but like sometimes I get 1 and sometimes I would get 2. And the days that I got the 2 slips, I would just be like in heaven. I don't know why I just remembered that, but like
I feel like you got 2 extra. I got an extra bag of chips too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a game changer.
Oh man.
And yeah, I remember the tickets. You're right, when they get the hot lunch envelope and hand out the tickets, and it was like we were like little kids like salivating like dogs for treats.
It'd be so funny. It'd be like a student council's rep to hand out those things every day. And
who's the student council representative for 4A? Like it's like Chad Catcherman, 2 tickets. Oh my God! All right, but at that point, speaking of school, all right, let's get to this Ohio. Or geez, I keep saying Ohio State because it just has that vibe to it. The whole fight thing. Oklahoma. This was a thing. Does anyone want to take the reins on the explanation on this?
Yeah. So it was a bar scene out in Oklahoma. Was it in Oklahoma?
Bar scene, Chad. It was. Yeah. Oklahoma.
Okay. Because I mean, I knew the aforementioned person in this story was an Oklahoma football player, but I didn't know if it actually happened in Oklahoma. So it was a bar, and there was a little altercation between 2 people, which ended up being 4 people. It was very weird, but the main scene of this was 2 people kind of like jawing back and forth, and then all of a sudden, a miniature fight just breaks out, but like some heavy punches being thrown from what seemed like the much smaller person in the video, and the guy that ends up getting rocked is a Oklahoma football player, and the one throwing the punches is just a guy that I think I read somewhere he had 9+ years.
All right, well, here we go. All right, we got a little technical difficulty. Of course, I like broadcast that fight. Good Lord. All right, here we go. All right, let's clear this up, folks. We're going to get the old audio and the video and everything back to normal here. And this is live producing. I feel like I'm doing like live PD. What a world we're living in here. Well, you know what? We're getting everyone back in. We're getting the squad back together. Okay, here we go. All right, I don't know what's up. The internet sucks tonight. Look at that.
All good.
Could you imagine listening to Spotify?
Sounds good.
After everything I put you guys through. All right. So I'm pretty sure everyone in the audience watched the fight for a good three minutes. So they got the gist that 2 people got their ass handed to them. Chat. Care to give us a rundown on what happened again?
no idea where I cut off.
At the beginning, I actually really was at the beginning.
Okay, so there's a little altercation going on in a bar in Oklahoma, and two people mentioned were an Oklahoma football player, and then just was it a Joe Schmo? Like, just it was kind of someone just off the streets, right? It was like he had 9+ years, I read, of UFC fighting experience, but I don't think that meant that he was in the UFC. It was just like
I'm going to pull the video up one more time and let you walk it through. Yeah, because, all right, so that was the gist of it. Everyone's just seeing a giant fight, like, oh, wow. Yeah. The guy's had MMA training.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, like, he's had training for a good amount of years, but he's still so much smaller than a football player. And he just went to town. Like, he just was
in boots.
In boots. With some heavy shots, and then was putting them into a guillotine. And does our video have the sound?
No, I cut that. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I cut the hell out of that.
Yeah.
It's already bad enough. I was the commentary, the cursing and stuff.
Yeah, I forgot about the cursing, but just the commentary.
I forgot about the cursing.
Because I was laughing about the guy just screaming like, "Put him in a guillotine! Guillotine!"
Yeah, and I like fight. Yeah, like that whole thing.
Yeah. So yeah, basically just one of those situations where, like, even if you're a big dude, like, you can still get knocked the hell out by some people a little smaller than you.
Yeah, we learned that.
Plain and simple, just don't be a jerk to people, and then you won't get to be in the situation.
Thank you, and that's not virtual assailant at all. That's a speaking knowledge, Zach.
Right? Yeah, just.
Well, nice. I mean, no, and me and Joe were talking about that too before I jumped on the show. Like, how many times? Like, I'm not saying I want to see that happen. You're not at all. But it's like the amount of times I think we've all been pushed. A lot of us in general, like, and you want to do something in public and you don't do it. It's just like you think someday that person's going to get theirs. And I wasn't there, so I'm not trying to like comment on like who should get theirs or what that like. But my comment would be is if you put hands on someone in a bar when there's drunken escalations already, like, what do you think's going to happen? Which is what happened. So it's just like, I'm sorry, but like that's the whole point. Like, people touch us like in a bar, and you're like, you want to do something, but you don't do it, but you walk away. So it's just kind of, whatever. All right, I'm not, and like I said, that's almost like a very cynical, jaded way of looking at it. But you know what I mean? Like, just from a light perspective.
Well, I mean, it's one of those situations where it's like, yeah, I mean, if you get into like a pretty bad fight, like you can get arrested, that kind of a situation. But it's almost like I don't ever want to deal with just having to go through that. Like, I don't care that it's not going to be, terrible for my record, but like, I don't want to have to sit in a jail cell for like 3 hours and have to post $500 worth of a bail. Like, I think that's not something that I want to have happen with my Saturday night. So I think of those kind of things in those big moments, because we all know here that I do have a little bit of a temper at times.
I'm not a drunken one. Sports one.
Yeah.
But sorry, Zach, do you have something?
This is for the Mojo Monday, right?
No. Just no. It's been choppy. It's been a little Robotronic, as Jack Black said in School Rock. What should I watch this weekend? Let's. You know what, Zach? I like that. Let's cue it up. Mojo Monday time, right?
Perfect.
Did we get the ladies out?
Yeah, let's bring them out. Bring them out.
All right, well, I guess I had my Mojo Monday.
Bring them out.
I misfired. I got excited. Let's get the ladies out. Do you want to go first, though?
Yeah, let's do it. So my Mojo Monday, it goes for Max Homa, winner of the Genesis Invitational, the second ever PGA Tour victory, and he's actually that event was at Riviera Country Club, which is right outside of Los Angeles, which is where Max Homa is from. And for those who don't really follow him, he's been kind of underrated, and he's like an up and comer. He's been finishing top 20s, top 10s, this and that, and I think he started Sunday several strokes behind the leader. Yep. And
chase down, huh?
What's that?
Well, chase down on a Sunday.
Yeah, so everybody was chasing. It was great.
Yeah, it was a good event. So on Sunday, Finau posted, I think it was 12 under when he was on his 18. So Max Homa was sitting at 12 under, teeing off on the 18. So he hits his drive perfect fairway, hits his next shot with a wedge, puts it within, I think it was 3 feet 4 inches from the hole, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is a gimme, like, easy birdie, he's gonna win." And like you could tell, he kind of seemed excited. So he hits the putt and he pulls it, and it lips out, and he misses it. He misses the birdie putt. So then they go to play a playoff hole, and the first playoff hole they both parred, and then the second one.
Well, hold on, but can you explain where Homa's drive went on the first playoff hole? It was classic Finau just not being able to close.
Oh, that's right. That was the first hole. So it was a 280-yard par 4, and Finau puts it like pin high off the tee, like just off the. He had a pitch and a putt would have been a birdie, like fairly easily for a pro, and Homa's ball is literally like on the left, and it's almost leaning against a tree. Like he had no shot, like besides basically to like pitch it back and hope to make par, and hope that Finau somehow made par. So he like somehow gets on the angle of it, and he hoods his wedge down, so he just hooks it, and he puts it on the green within like 8 feet of the hole, 10 feet of the hole.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, long story short, they both ended up making par, and the next hole, Homa won. But the other part of the mojo that I have to say is I put $5 on Homa to win on like Wednesday.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah. So like before it started, he was 47-1 odds. So it was like you won a couple $100 if he won. So
Cash me outside. How about that?
well, dude. So he had that 3-foot putt, and I was like checking FanDuel. And, they do the cash outs. So dude, the cash out was only like $5 less than if he actually won. So I was like, I'm gonna cash out because like I've seen this happen before. So I cashed out and got the money, and then he missed the putt, and I was like, oh God, thank God I cashed out because he could still lose.
Mm-hmm.
So then
That's smart though.
right. So then I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me check the odds for him in a playoff against Finau. So then I threw like $50 on him in the playoff, and he won. So I like basically won even more money than I
Oh
would.
my God!
It was good.
Clean. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
Barney song. Clean up
Yeah.
everyone. Take your spot there.
Yeah. So it was a good little. It was
It's
good.
a hell of a mojo Monday. I love that.
I think it's everyone does their share or do their share.
That's
Right.
I was improvising there. I was like, I felt like Andy Bernard in the Office episode, like, what does he say? Like Chrysler car, like
Yeah.
football cream, and Michael's like, it's football cream, Like, so I felt like that. I was trying. Good call. I'm glad you guys called me out on that because that was some tests I threw out there. I'll say, Chad, you want to go next or what?
Yeah. So it's I'm either going to make this a really good announcement or a really bad one. We'll have to see what happens here. It's the doctor's birthday, Julius Irving, as the old time people would love to hear it. So Dr. J, what's he? 71 years of age. So getting up there. Wish him a happy birthday. Big Philadelphia legend here.
Yeah.
So
Love that.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Stud.
Now I'm going to move it over into the old snow circuits. Snowy day today, boys.
Yeah.
Talked about it to start the show. Put a picture up.
it just keeps coming.
I know. I feel like we live in
crazy.
Wisconsin now. It's
Yeah.
wild. It's like I feel like every day, like the day before, it's like, oh, by the way, you know we're gonna get 3 to 5 inches of snow. It's like,
Wait, you want to hear some great clickbait?
please.
These things keep coming to me. I don't know who it was or when. I just remember seeing it the other day. It was that with the amount of people not on the roads throughout this whole time in the entire world during this pandemic, that we have kind of flipped global warming the other way again. So that's
really?
why we're experiencing these winters.
Oh, don't get
because-
all on me on this. Like,
But but just think. Okay,
it's a climate thing. Trust me.
No, but just hear me out here because no matter whichever way this spins, it's wrong. Like if you're pro global warming, that makes absolutely no sense. Like how does that half of a year of people not doing things and the irreversible place that we were in before, all of a sudden we reversed completely already. And then if you're on the side of no global warming, you're just sitting there like, okay, well, like, yeah, these guys are crazy. So like, no matter how you
Vacation table and got the first problem of the 9 wrong, and the kids all called her out for that. And it was the whole point was saying how like the world focuses on the bad, not the good, even though there was nine of the 10 were correct, but the one was wrong. Right. So to that point, first of all, we're all grinding, right? So my dad went to work. My mom was trying to surprise him and shovel, and I'm getting up there a little bit. So hey, if I'm getting up there a little bit, the parents got to be getting up there a little bit, right? So first of all, I give the Scalante family a shout out. So they're our neighbors in the neighborhood, and they're the nicest family ever. Like seriously, like I mean, like every time like you go through the neighborhood, like I only go through the neighborhood like every once in a while because I don't go. Unfortunately, I can't see my parents like all the time. So, but every time you see them, like they're the nicest way. They're the greatest family. And to that point, Anthony, who's a little bit younger than all of us, he saw my mom trying to shovel to surprise my dad. Well, and then we're not like right across the street. Like he had to come down a little bit. And so my mom had helped her shovel. So I pulled up the text story my mom sent me because I obviously didn't have a video or a picture documenting him helping her out. But just the text that she sent to me, and I love how at the end she said that how much she hates snow, which she's probably blushing right now watching the show, laughing with the text. But no, Anthony, I really appreciate it. My family appreciates it. You guys are awesome. We love you guys in the neighborhood, and it's just really. It's just like you don't see that all the time because it's funny. I was even joking around in my head. I'm thinking like when I'm shoveling, I'm looking down. I'm thinking about how much quicker I am to getting back inside. And the last thing I'm thinking about is like looking down the street, like way down the street, and seeing like an older. I'm trying to think of how to put that for my single mother, an aging woman. I'm like stuttering here. I'm like Ruben Stutter here. But. No, all jokes aside, no, I really appreciate him helping her out. So that's it's a local one, local Mojo Monday.
Love to hear that. That's good.
Making a name for Anthony again because Anthony Soprano.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have been helping your mother. He would not have been helping your mother. I don't believe so, Kieran.
Was that? Because you're right. AJ was in the Sopranos. That was his son's name.
Anthony.
That's a pretty good Carmela impression.
That was good.
I have to rewatch. How many times have you rewatched that, by the way, Zach? The Sopranos.
Twice.
That's it? Oh, I thought you were going to say like 8 times. I think was it Belcher that's watched it a lot?
No, you think you might be thinking of Fitz. Fitz like routinely will put Sopranos on while working from home, and it's just gone through the series like
it's pretty
16
good.
times.
It's like Breaking Bad, kind of like where you just throw an episode on and be like, "Oh, I remember this. I'll throw it on." Like it's as good of a show. But and real quick, another Mojo Monday we gotta give a shout out to Zach. And you had some really good ones that you sent in the chat. The Miracle on Ice, 41 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great movie too.
Yeah, I have to admit,
The story of it actually happening is.
I've only seen part of that movie, so I gotta finish it. It's on
Miracle?
Netflix. Yeah, I've only ever seen part of
Oh
it.
my!
I know.
Wait,
Again,
how is that a movie that you only seen half of?
Again.
I was watching it late at night. I fell asleep, I think.
Okay, that's fair. That's actually probably the best excuse.
Yeah.
We've all been there. I mean, but it's all. I mean, just but stepping back, like I remember asking my parents all the time, like, "Where were you?" And my dad, I remember telling me this is like always the story that sticks with me is how that was the early game. Like you think about like the NFL playoffs, for example, like on that Saturday, Zach, how like there's the 4:25 game and there's the 8:00 game, and how like the 4:25 games like it's like whatever, like the 1 seed versus the whatever, and they're gonna win. So then we'll do like the 2 versus 3 seed game for the next game. And I remember my dad telling me that's what this game was. They were all at work still because they all thought the Soviets would roll over them. So it's pretty cool, like they obviously. I mean, just like that little tidbit. Like I think it's just neat how like they won. Like so people are getting out of work. Like no, because this is before cell phones, where we could check it at work. Like to come out of work and someone's like, "Yo, the U.S. beat the Soviets." You're like, "Get the hell out of here!" Like.
Yeah, so I can't imagine how that must have felt.
that game is one of those where I mean, obviously we weren't around for it, but it's. I always tell my friends like I think it would be a perfect game for me, just me personally, because like when there's these crazy things, I'll text you and be like, Kieran, USA's like plus $1 billion today, like let's go after them, and then like we throw our $10 on it. We're gentleman's 10.
Gentleman's 10.
Gentleman's 10 would have won us a lot of money in that Soviet game.
It would have.
Could you imagine? I know. I actually wanted to look up what the betting odds were for that game. Could you imagine taking? Because a lot of people probably did it for fun. I mean, the add-on Jack Rice that was in Lake Placid. Like,
what was the game we played on before that in New York? Was like 8-0 or something like that. Like
a lot. I think it was 10. I think they got into double digits. No, but always a fun Mojo Monday. So no, this is fun. I mean, you guys have anything that you wanted to throw in there? Oh, we got Dr. Frank coming on Thursday, by the way. Dr. Frank Shannon to talk some hoops.
Perfect. There we go.
I had some March Madness notes, and I was like,
can we also announce the other one too? Is we gonna keep
no,
that in the back burner?
We gotta schedule it.
All right.
Suspense. We got some.
Back burner.
How about this, Chad? I like it this way. We got some really cool guests coming up. We have a couple cool guests coming up, and we're going to announce them. So, you know what? Actually, I love you guys. See, this is the best part. This is a perfect way to plug our show. So, real quick, if you stick around and check us out on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit @_get sidetracked, you can check us out, and you can find out who those guests are going to be. It's almost like, Zach, I wish we had the copyright to who could be now. Like, yeah, it'd be perfect. But no, and then Spotify and iTunes, obviously, for all the audio episodes. But yeah, no, so, and then check us out on www.get-sidetrack.com. And we'll throw all those announcements on some future guests. This is fun. I mean, we love the Three Musketeers rolling, but written by Alexandre Dumas. But to that point, I mean, the show goes on. The show goes on. And to that point, if you want the video episodes, follow us to the Heart of the Left, subscribe to the right, free with Amazon Prime. So yeah, I think it's pretty cheap. But let's put it this way: you don't want to pay. I get it. So let's go to YouTube. It's free. Just put your email address in. Subscribe. You got highlights, all sorts of interactive stuff, and you can check us out there for all sorts of cool stuff. We're growing. We're growing a little bit on there. We're getting close to 20 subscribers. All right, but anyway, let's. Speaking of that, well, we have more than $20 worth of sales. Hey, go to the YouTube go to the Sidetrack store for all your cool stuff. You can check us out there on the website, and there's I lost my neck gaiter, guys. Got to find that.
Oh man.
Well, hey, that just means someone else has got a free Sidetrack neck gaiter, so that's good. There you go.
I love it. You are such a glass half full guy. That's why I love you, dude. Like, that's perfect. Like, yes, exactly. So, to that point, and you know what? And maybe if they see it, they'll look on our website and see that we're back on the air on Thursday at 7 o'clock, There they go. So maybe they're connecting some dots for us that we don't have to do. But for the rest of the people that didn't find my neck gaiter, there's a little tidbit for you. So, well, like I said, Dr. Frank Shannon on the show, college basketball expert. Thursday night we'll talk about March Madness, because like I said, it's cool because I feel like the fun part about doing the show now before March Madness was two thoughts. The first was I had notes, but I was like, what do you want me to say right now? Like, who's the sleeper team? It's like we'll talk about that in 3 weeks. Like when people actually care about when they're filling their bracket out. Like we can talk about it now, but like we're gonna do it again in 3 weeks. So like, what's the point of doing it now? But Frank's got a great insight, and I think to that point, guys, like as I wrap up the show, like I feel like he his projections for this year, like Gonzaga being great, hit. The Blue Bloods, like Duke and Kansas, not being good, have hit. Like he's been on the ball with his projections and I keep trying to say projections and prediction. I need to wrap up the show. I can't talk; my tongue's tied. But he's been good.
Yeah, no, he has. He knows his stuff. So I'm excited. It'll be good content on Thursday.
For sure. All right, so perfect. So we'll see everyone back in the living room Thursday, 7 o'clock. And like I said, follow us on social media. We'll have all those cool announcements. But